So I am the head of AdSmart. As Jamie said, we are just coming up on 2.5 years in market. Essentially what it launched as was a frame-by-frame piece of technology that would allow us to serve into live linear TV breaks. We are now in a position where we are serving into those live linear breaks. We're also serving into time-shifted programming, so recorded onto the DTR, set-top box, video on demand, through the SkyGo VOD and through SkyGo Linear. So we're essentially delivering the product across all screens.
And everyone asks this, give us some numbers. You know, how many campaigns have you booked this year? What's your forecast for full year spend on AdSmart?
Yeah, I'll give you exactly that. So we are, we've hit a few milestones recently actually. So in terms of campaigns run, we hit 5,000 recently. We've run just under 1,000 advertisers, and we've served about 3 billion ads so far to 75% completion, which is our definition of a...
And give us a sense, which advertisers are currently using AdSmart most intensively? I think because part of the story has always been you're bringing new advertisers to TV. What's the reality of that?
So I mean, that is the reality. We set out with this ambition to make TV more relevant to more brands, and it was about growing the TV market rather than cannibalising on linear revenue. And to date, that's been exactly what we've done. So we're still in or around the 73% figure in terms of completely new to TV or new to Sky brands. So continuing to have really good conversations with pulling money in. And likewise, actually, we've seen some great, and what's really encouraging for me is we've seen some great activity from advertisers who are very familiar with the way that TV works for them in a traditional sense, and are using AdSmart to kind of amplify little parts of their marketing activity.
And just because 73% is new to TV and to Sky.
Correct.
And how does that break down between those two buckets?
Now you're asking. I think it's about 40% are completely new to TV.
Right.
So,
so in that sense, what is AdSmart substituting for? Where is that money coming from?
So we believe the majority of money is coming from on that smaller end of the spectrum, where you've got smaller advertisers who've never used TV before. We believe that the money is coming from where they spend. So local press, local radio, local TV. In the broader kind of big blue chip businesses, we're seeing money come from parts of their digital spend, parts of their press spend. Everywhere they need a piece of targeted activity, they'll kind of pull spend from there into
so in a sense, is creative production now one of the big barriers? So obviously a print ad costs a fraction of a great TV ad. Is that the kind of ceiling which some advertisers find it hard to?
It certainly was, yes. So probably about 9 months ago, it was becoming a bit of a barrier, and we were seeing a real kind of lag in interest from a completely new to TV advertiser from the first conversation through to actually running an ad. So what we did is we launched an ad fund, so a £500,000 ad fund to help kind of completely new to TV advertisers come to market. And actually, I think we're quite lucky in that we launched AdSmart when we did. Maybe 4 years prior to that, the creative landscape was nowhere near as competitive as it is now, and actually you can get a good 30-second ad for under £5,000.
Sure.
So it's not necessarily the barrier we anticipated.
So the other big toy that's just been announced, obviously, is Advance.
Yeah.
How do AdSmart and Advance work together? They seem like very different products.
Yeah. So the way I would describe them is AdSmart is taking the best of digital targeting and using it in linear. And Advance is taking the best of viewing data and viewing targeting and using that online. So in Advance, we're able to extend what an advertiser might do in our linear business into a digital real estate, so both on Sky Estate and off platform.
Right.
And with AdSmart, it's really more about kind of targeting those homes at a granular level, but in a kind of a linear way.
And can you give us a sense of the crossover between, in terms of advertisers using both products? Do you see them as complementary, or are they attracting different groups of advertisers at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a real blend. So it's across the spectrum of advertisers who are using other parts of Sky's portfolio to advertisers who need that reassurance. And Jamie touched on some of the areas of concerns for advertisers in the digital sphere. It's nice to be able to know which household you're targeting in digital. So that's where we're really finding advance and land well.
I guess the other big question about the two products is their gestation periods. I remember Jamie standing up and announcing AdSmart, and I think 5 or 6 years in development.
Yeah.
Straightforward question, why so long? What's so complex about a product like AdSmart that takes such a long time to bring it to market?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, it's easy to make it sound kind of simple when you're describing it in market, but it is a very, very complicated piece of kit. So you're basically changing the way that the broadcast framework has worked for a decade, and upgrading every part of the kind of the piece. So it was always going to take a while. I think it took a bit longer than we'd first anticipated, but
it was ever thus.
We need to get it right.
And Advance, similar kind of period to develop, or
I would say Advance slightly more straightforward. We've made huge advances in the last probably 12 months in the way that we handle data and build out our own kind of data management platform, and having kind of cracked that. I think it will be a smaller gestation period because we can activate audiences in a far more kind of dynamic way in advance.
So Jamie mentioned your aspirations to roll out beyond the current 5 territories. Sure. Do you see opportunities for AdSmart overseas? I mean, can you license it to other platforms?
Yeah, so we developed AdSmart as a piece of technology with our middleware partners, Cisco, and really trying to find a different expression, but I'll just go with this one. So it's kind of a lift and shift, really. So as a piece of technology, it's designed in a way that it can exist in any broadcast system. So we're hopeful that with Cisco we can have conversations in other territories outside of the Sky ones we've mentioned already. And
you have those discussions going on, or?
Yes, a few. Yeah.
Jolly good.
Yeah.
Questions afterwards. Final quick question, then. Sure. Obviously, you've now had AdSmart out in the market for some time. What do you think AdSmart tells us about the future of TV advertising? What does it tell us about the way in which broadcasts and platforms need to adapt to the competition that Jamie was talking about?
So I think it's it's refreshing to know that something that's, over the last 3 years, we've seen so many column inches talking about the death of TV and death of 30 second. So I think in AdSmart it's been brilliant that we've been able to kind of bat that back. As much as kind of we talk about Google and Facebook trying to kind of eat our dinner, I think we've got a great play at kind of eating some of theirs. In terms of kind of where we go next, we've seen huge advances in bringing completely new money into the TV market, and I think that will continue to happen. So I think the future is bright in terms of
And final cheeky question: tell us one thing on the AdSmart roadmap this year, something new.
AdSmart launches in Italy in July, August.
Ah, fantastic. Andy, I promised. Good, something to announce. Thank you ever so much.